Okay, well, good morning again. I'm Laura Martinez from Task. I'm the Assistive Technology Program Manager here. I'm going to try to talk and help Liz let people in because we have a lot of registrants today. Thank you for joining us on this Friday and welcome to Assistive Technology for Early Learning.
Good morning. I'm Elizabeth Ortega, Assistive Technology Specialist at Task. Welcome. Task is a nonprofit. We serve 6 counties in Southern California. We are a parent training information center. Our mission is to educate and empower people with disabilities and their families to become effective communicators and self-advocates. Our disclaimer. Task staff are not advocates or attorneys. We do not provide recommendations, legal advice, or suggestions. Our family support specialists offer peer-to-peer support, information, and options to parents of children with disabilities so they can become informed members of the IEP team and work collaboratively with schools. Our family support specialists help families understand the special education process by providing one-on-one phone consultations, virtual IEP consultations, and review of documentation. They help with letter writing. They offer a variety of educational webinars, support for military families, information, and resources. Task offers 2 online support groups, Parent Connection and Restorative Connection. Both support groups are for parents only. Parent Connection is led by Task staff and they meet the 4th Tuesday of the month from 10 to 11. And Restorative Connection is led by a mental health professional and meets twice a month on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Within our Tech Center, we offer a variety of assistive technology webinars, individualized online appointments via Zoom. If you're looking for specific apps or websites, we can schedule a 1-hour appointment and we can show you we have anything in the area that you're looking for. We also offer assistive technology consultations and clinics. For our Augmentative Alternative Communication, AAC services, we have Project Communicate, in which we offer a free 1-hour AAC consultation with the speech language pathologist. If you'd like more information on that, you can contact me. And this year we have Let's Talk AAC. It's a professional development series of 4 webinars. Our first one is next Friday, March 18th. We also have Tech Connection online, which is our social and life skills groups for ages 14 and above. And we have a lot of information and resources in assistive technology. We have a assistive technology focused e-newsletter that goes out once a month, Tech Tidbits. If you're not receiving it and would like to receive it, you can visit the website listed on the slide, plug in your name, email address, and you start receiving it the following month. Before Laura continues, one more thing. You will receive a copy of the entire presentation. I will email it to you after the webinar to the email address you used to register to today's webinar.
Thank you so much, Liz. Okay, so some types of assistive technology used by young children. Just broke it down into categories. So we'll talk more about these, of course, but looking at motor or physical needs, there's seating and positioning, which can include movement supports, footrests, chair bands, adjustable height tables, different seating, aids for daily living and self-care. There are specialized utensils, fine motor supports, and all kinds of different things. Communication supports can include, augmentative and alternative communication, which, encompasses low and mid-tech AAC, high-tech AAC devices, and AAC apps on tablets. Under cognition, we have play and toys because For our little guys, play is how they learn. And then, of course, software apps and early learning websites. Under social emotional, behavior supports, visual supports like visual timers and visual directions and reminders. And then sensory items like weighted, weighted vests or weighted, different weighted lap pads or different objects, and of course, fidgets. So when we talk about assistive technology, there is a continuum, low tech, mid tech, and high tech. So some examples of low tech items might be pencil grip, fidget toy like this little boy is using here, or communication books. Under mid tech, you might find things like adaptive eating utensils or switch operated toys, or maybe more simple AAC devices or systems. And then under high tech, that can include more complex AAC devices, specialized software, and apps, plus more. So we're going to start with adapted toys. So why do we adapt toys, or why should we adapt toys? Well, if you notice a child or a kiddo is having difficulty using a toy, you might want to think about trying some simple adaptations that might help them more easily play with that toy or get the most out of playing with that toy. So some of the areas of difficulty might be fine motor or gross motor, might be positioning. This little girl is laying on her side here. Sometimes it's the toy is too far out of reach, or they have to cross over their midline to reach it. Vision could be a vision issue, could be a cognitive issue. So looking at all of these things when they're playing with a toy, you might want to think about different adaptations, and we'll talk about some of those. So what's a switch adapted toy? So switch adapted toys have been around a long time, but what basically it's a battery operated toy that's been modified. So a child maybe with fine motor or different motor deficits can press a switch and activate that toy instead of using the little tiny button or whatever it is on the battery operated toy. So I have two examples here. This is an adapted Tickle Me Elmo. So we have some children that may not be able to, this one has, comes with like a thermometer to take his temperature, and you touch his foot and you touch his nose to blow it, things like that. They might not have the dexterity to do that. So what they did was adapt this toy, and now there are buttons to do all of those things. And when you press each button, you get to hear the same response as if you touched the actual toy. This is just a battery operated little animal. This one's a cow, and it's got a switch attached to it. Now, if it's just the switch going directly to the toy, it's a great way to teach cause and effect. I hold the button down and the toy moves. When I let go, that toy stops. So cause and effect. I touch it, it goes. I let go, it stops. Pictured here is also a switch latch timer in which you can set it to go for a certain number of seconds and then stop. So if you have a kiddo who can't press and hold, they touch the button and it'll go for a certain amount of seconds. Or you can turn it to where they press the toy and it keeps going until they press it again. So just different types of adaptation. So just a little bit about switches. So basically what they do is they reduce the control just to one button or key. And there are so many different types of switches that can be operated with different body parts, with your head or with your foot or with your elbow, or there are eye blink switches or tongue switches or sip and puff. So all kinds of different things. And then the one down here at the bottom is a switch that you can use to control an iPad. Okay, and in order to make those battery operated toys work with the switch, you need what's called a battery interrupter. And it's just a simple, it's a copper disc with a cord attached. And you just simply put it in between the battery and the silver side inside. And what it does is interrupts that battery flow. So then you just plug in the switch and you're ready to go. Any questions on that? I'm more than happy to help. Okay, so adapting books, puzzles, different games. So almost any kind of book or puzzle or game can be adapted. So for adapting books, we like the sturdy ones, like the board books that have the thicker pages, because they stand up to the test of time easier, and they're also easier to adapt. But this one just shows pom-poms that are glued inside. So now the child can put their finger in and turn the page where they may not have been able to if the page wasn't fluffed or stuck out like that. And then we'll talk about a little bit about it in just a minute, but you can also make a book more accessible by adding tactile objects or symbols to the book if they're an AAC user. Or you can simplify the text, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And here's an adapted puzzle. I'll show you a few more. So just some ideas for fluffers, extenders, turners. We've used just about anything you can think of to adapt toys here, what we have on hand. We kind of MacGyver it, whatever's going to work for the individual, but just some ideas, popsicle sticks or tongue depressors. Velcro is great. I'll tell you some use for that in just a minute. Furniture bumpers, shower curtain rings are great. The plastic ones, you can punch a hole in the pages of the book, hook those shower curtain rings, and so you have a different kind of grasp. Somebody can maybe get their finger in there to turn the pages. I love puffy paint. I've used water bottle caps as spacers, you name it. So here are just 4 examples of adaptive books. This one has pom-poms for spacers, but also to help grab and turn the page. Those are disposable contact lens cases. This one's got tongue depressors and they're numbered. Again, popsicle sticks. And then this one just has sponges that we happen to have that were different bright colors. So adapting puzzles. So sometimes even the puzzles that you buy, the wooden puzzles that have those little tiny knobs that are adapted, many times our kiddos, so little kids in general, have trouble fine motor wise trying to pick up those tiny little nubs. So what you can do is add larger handles. You can also, for someone for different visual issues or someone who needs that sensory feedback, you can add textures, different pieces of carpet or sandpaper, or different fluffy cotton balls. Also, you can photocopy the puzzle and put it inside for a pattern to follow. If you happen to buy a wooden puzzle and you get the pieces out and there's nothing inside, sometimes it's hard cognitively to know where to put those pieces. You can also use Velcro or magnets. Maybe you have a kiddo with a wheelchair with a lap tray and the puzzle pieces might slide, or you can put magnets on the puzzle pieces and then put a cuff around the child's wrist and put something metal here, and then they're able to pick those pieces up more easily. So here's an example of a puzzle that was blank inside. So they just went ahead and drew around each puzzle piece one at a time. And they numbered the puzzle pieces. So, hey, you might work on matching numbers. You could put in different color stickers and match colors or letters or whatever you wanted to do. But now there's at least a visual representation so they can kind of try to figure out where the puzzle piece goes. So just some ideas. These are different handles we have made over the years for different puzzles. So PVC pipe is great because you can cut it to whatever length you like. An empty thread spool is a great handle. Different knobs or drawer pulls, just whatever you have. Funky size buttons or Velcro. Like I said, magnets, whatever you have. I don't know if you can see these, but these little swirly things came in an art kit and we didn't use them. So we thought, hey, that makes a great knob. So just use your imagination. So games for everyone. Sometimes when trying to play a game with young kids, toddlers, or, either the rules are too difficult, there's too many steps to follow. Also, sometimes you need to add or adapt to that game. So I just have ideas in here. Add textures to the dice, to the spinners, to the board games. Again, you can use puffy paints. I love wiki sticks. Adhesive craft foam is great. Different fabric, different Velcro, sandpaper. An idea for a board game is you can put the fuzzy side of Velcro dots on each space and then put the scratchy piece of Velcro on the bottom of the, I can't think of what it's called for a second, of the marker, the space mover. And so each time that they move, it'll stay up because it's got that Velcro to balance it out. Alternate dice rollers and spinners. So they make adapted dice rollers, but they're about $75, $80, which is pretty steep. So I'm going to give you some ideas to make your own for $1. But first, holding cards. So people with motor issues, arthritis, little kids in general, trying to hold a bunch of cards and still be able to see them and not drop them is difficult. So here's just some ideas for holding cards that might help. I love chip clips, a clothespin. This is a pool noodle from the dollar store. Just cut it the size you want, cut a slit halfway through, halfway down. There you go. Kind of have to cut the bottom a little bit so it's flat. Here's a hairbrush I saw, and then here's an egg carton. Just ideas. So here's the dice roller I was telling you about. So I got these for $4 at the dollar store. You can also use the disposable Tupperware that you get at the grocery store, anything that's got a clear bottom. Put the dice in, put the lid on tight, and they can shake up the dice and just set it down. And then you can see what they've rolled, and also they don't roll off the table, under the couch, that sort of thing. And then here's some adapted action figures. So Batman here has a poker chip on the bottom to hold him up steady so he doesn't fall over. We've also used older wooden puzzle pieces. If we've got missing pieces or something, we've used those for sturdiness. And here's a clear shower curtain ring so they can grab it and move it. This one just has a popsicle stick attached, but just some ideas for adaptations that are simple. And after each section, I've put resources for you. So here's resources on everything we've seen so far: switches, adapted toys, and battery interrupters. If you have questions about anything specific, feel free to reach out to Liz or myself, and we'll be happy to help you. All our information is on the handout that you'll receive after the webinar. So alternative access, so trying to access the computer or the iPad or, whatever it is. Sometimes just using a regular mouse or keyboard is too difficult. So I just wanted to point out that there's all kinds of alternative access methods. Something as simple as a single button mouse can be really helpful for little guys and little hands. Sometimes if they're trying to move the mouse and get that concept and they get the mouse to where they want and they accidentally hit that right click button and that's not what they wanted to happen, it can be frustrating. So eliminating that right click button and just having a left click button is a great option for some kiddos. They also, if you notice, they're smaller mice for little hands. That can be helpful as well. And then we have trackballs and switches and joysticks. There's all kinds of different adaptive keyboards, large keys, smaller keys, just different things for different needs. So touch screens, so we're in the swipe generation, right? So touch screens are going to be your most direct method, which is basically what an iPad is a big touchpad or touch screen. And even babies, you see here's a little baby, but even babies are the littlest of kids, get right on your phone and are able to use them, but it emulates that mouse movement because wherever you put your finger is where it goes. Here's just a little trick. If you're trying to teach mouse use and you have someone that gets frustrated or accidentally hits that right click button, just take a plastic party ring or from dollar store is great. They have the little kid jewelry. You just pop off the jewel part and then just kind of sand down the little bit of the mouse, the left click button, and then that ring, and then glue it down. And now they know they put their finger exactly in where they need to be on the mouse. So no more clicking on the wrong button. Quick finger isolation on the iPad. So a lot of our kiddos, a lot of our people tend to put their whole hand on the iPad, especially if it's laying down. And if you do that, then nothing moves. So just this is a quick, easy idea. Get a glove. Again, I love the dollar store, but even old gloves that are wearing out, and you just cut the finger off the glove that the child uses, whatever their dominant finger is on whichever hand, and now they have isolation and they can touch anywhere they want, and just where their finger is will move around. I apologize, I'm losing my voice. So here's some resources on alternative access. Again, if you have questions, please reach out. Aids for daily living. So here's some ideas for art and writing supplies, but there's adapted scissors, all kinds of adaptive scissors. Using larger crayons or markers, or looking for different types of handles. Rounded, here's a rounded handle from Blick Art Supplies. Shorter, longer, depending on the user. You can stick the handle through a foam ball or a tennis ball, depending on what you're looking at. And then you can make a T-shaped grip from a PVC pipe. I don't know if you can see this here. Or add a Velcro wrist strap, which I'm going to show you in a moment. Rebecca, if you have a question, you can type it in the chat. This is a universal cuff called Easy Grip, and I absolutely love these. They come in all different sizes, meaning the width here. So they come in length and in width, and they can go around just about anything. So this little cutie here is using it to write, but you can also put it on a toothbrush or a spoon, a toy, even a cup. So these are wonderful. Here's some DIY examples. Again, this is just a little Velcro band that you can hook around to make it easier so they maybe don't drop the crayon or they have more support. This is customized grip made out of air dry clay. Just different ideas for grips. Love using rollers, sponge rollers, dollar store. You can put them around just about anything. They come in different sizes and different widths, just for that grip. And then here's an idea with the sticky foam shapes. You can put them on an empty tape roll, and maybe somebody can't hold a stamp. You can put them on there, and now they can put their hand in and just roll, and they can do art that way. Some adapted eating utensils. There are so many different kinds out there, but just ideas. Cups with two handles, non-slip. There's plates and bowls with non-slip stuff built on the bottom so that it doesn't slide. Different, sometimes it's as simple as a bent spoon or fork so that you don't only have to scoop it up, but then you have to turn it. Otherwise, this way you just have to scoop it and bring it forward. Love the cups with the straws built in so you don't have to chase the straw around. Can be really, really helpful. They make silverware that's got larger handles. Dressing and grooming aids. I love this cylindrical foam here. We get it at TheraPro, which is in your resources, but you can put it around just about anything because they have different widths. So a hairbrush, a toothbrush, a pencil, a pen, eating utensils, you name it. They have different zipper pulls. So here's one here. Sometimes if you can't reach the zipper but you can get your hand in a different zipper pull, that helps with independence. And then they have the different types of laces. So here are two different types of laces. There's elastic spring laces here. You put them in the shoes and it turns basically tie shoes into slip-ons. Same thing with these. These are elastic bands that go in the shoe, turns a shoe from a shoe that needs to be tied into a slip-on shoe. And again, here's that easy hold that we saw the picture of the little boy using. And here are resources for aids for daily living supplies. This is just one more bowl and it's got the higher back. So when you go to scoop, it doesn't fall out over the side, and just some alternative seating ideas. Sensory items. So there are so many sensory items out there, but I wanted to give you an idea. So they're helpful for decreasing fidgeting and increasing awareness of your space and your body. So there's weighted objects, like this is a weighted vest, but there's also weighted other weighted clothing, tactile objects, things that you can touch, things that vibrate. There are toys where you just pull a string and they vibrate and you can feel that. And then different textures are great. All kinds of fidget. There are tangle toys. There are large ones, small ones. There are all kinds of chewable items that are made to be chewed on so they don't damage teeth. These chair bands here are great. You put them on the student's desk and then they have a place to put their feet. And especially if you have a kid that moves a lot or maybe can't reach the ground, but then they can also bounce or move. And then alternative seating. There's all kinds of great chairs and chair cushions. We like to use these balance discs. You can put as much or as little air in them as you want, and they're bumpy. So when you sit on them, you get that sensory feedback. And then here are some resources for different sensory items. There are so many great places. And then do we have any questions before I go on? If you do, please type them in the chat. Be glad to answer them. If not, I'm going to go on. So another use of AT by young children, of course, communication, augmentative communication. So that can include something as simple as a picture board or PECs, visual schedules, just something very, simple or complex. And then, of course, electronically spoken messages. Okay, if you want questions, Rebecca, if you have questions about the class, please email us and we will be happy to help you. I'll send you the application. So under augmentative communication, we can find low-tech items like letterboards, picture books, picture exchange system. Mid-tech, you're looking at single button devices or multi-button, usually battery operated. And then they're usually static communication devices, meaning you have to, whatever the layout is, you have to remove it and put in a new one by yourself. Excuse me, it doesn't happen digitally. And then for high-tech devices, usually, those are speech generating devices, dedicated devices. And then there's, of course, iPads or tablets with communication apps. And we're going to show you some of those. If my mouse will work. Okay. So here's some picture-based communication examples. So they can be very topic specific, whatever you're working on. So here's a balloon activity, singing songs, choice board. You can have like visual schedules or visual cues. Here are some just ideas for visual schedules and supports for either the classroom or at home or wherever. So they know where they're going to go next or what's going to happen. A lot of first and then boards where you can change out the cards. So first you got to wash your hands, then we can play, or maybe first you have to wash your hands and then we can eat, things like that. Or you go to the bathroom and then you wash your hands, this type of a thing. And then here's a morning schedule for home. And this is the order in which they're going to do things. And these are removable. So as they do each thing, they can take it off and put it away. Okay. Whoops. Just the definition of what an augmentative communication device is. It's a device that assists speech impaired or nonverbal individuals with communication through synthesized or recorded speech. So Here are some examples of AAC. So we have, this is an app called My First AAC, which I'm going to show you. That's a simple button called the Big Mac. Go Talk. This is a static display device in which you know, this layout here, you can change it out, re-record, record the different buttons, and be able to have different subjects. This one has the physical representation that you can put up, so the actual object, and then the picture, and then the buttons that speak aloud. And then this is a dedicated AAC device. And then a simple Cheap Talk. For resources, I went ahead and put in resources for communication symbols. One I would like to point out is Lesson Picks. It's what we use, and it's $39 for a year. And you have access to so many great pictures, and there's templates, and there's pre-made activities like visual schedules, highly customizable, super easy to use. And then I listed some of the most common AAC vendors. Oh, really quick. Avaz is an AAC app, but they have some great downloadable low-tech communication boards, and they have a lot of great information for both parents and professionals on their site. So I encourage you to look at those when you have a chance. So under computer-aided technology, sorry, there goes my voice again. I apologize. So when looking at software, apps, or websites, my suggestions are they should be easy for the child to use or understand how to use, offer several levels of difficulty. Because if you play it once and you've mastered it, got to move on to something else. Have a high interest level. Promote independent control if possible, and then include appropriate responses. And this is important, excuse me, because many people, many kiddos, if you get something wrong and there's a funny noise, like it makes or some kind of a noise that they like or they think is funny, they're going to keep getting it wrong. So they hear that funny response. So just some online learning games I wanted to point out. ABC has been around a long time. It's a great site. They have, they do have a premium version now that you can subscribe to, but they do also have some free games. What I do like is that they tell the Common Core standards that they align with for each thing, and then you can go in by grade. So I can go under pre-K and see the activities that they have. You can check by skill. So math, word games, different featured preschool games, or you can go in and, sorry, when you choose a game, where's my mouse? Okay. When you choose a game, you can look up the standards. Depending on what you want to look at. And they're listed here. So if you want to work on counting, these are all the games that work on counting. So that's kind of neat. Sorry, my mouse is not cooperating. So there's lots of good sections. So you can sort by standards, by games, and then they have printable offline activities that you can print out as well. Knee bouncers. So this one is made for our really young children. And they're simple games. And basically you can
orangutan, frog, bear,
so all you have to do is
gorilla,
click the mouse.
rabbit, wildebeest,
Sorry, I was trying to turn it down. Or you can touch any key.
flamingos, rhino, giraffe,
So I'm just hitting the space bar,
owl,
but I can hit enter
iguana,
for
cat,
any letter.
monkey, yak.
So very simple, just cause and effect type games. So that's knee bouncers. And again, they have games, videos, coloring sheets, all kinds of fun stuff. Aliboo. Works on different goals. There are ads on this one, but it is free. So you go under what you're trying to work on. So just pressing keys, moving the mouse, or clicking and dragging. So there's different games that have to do with those things. PBS Kids, which has been around a long time. Just want to give you a feel for them. So you can go in and you can spin the wheel and choose who you want to focus on. Or you can just go down.
New games.
They're sort of
All games.
or popular
games. New games. All games.
are all games. So you can choose who you want to.
A Dog's Life.
Can you watch Clifford for the afternoon while I go to Samantha's house? There are lots of things you can do together, like playing fetch, giving him a bath, reading him a book, or playing dress up.
So just to give you an idea, lots of fun games.
Dress up.
Open more books to mix and match outfits. Pilots. Dress up Clifford by dragging the costume pieces to him.
So just to give you an idea. Sesame Street games, always fun. They have it sorted by game, video, there's art activities, there's the Muppets. You can favorite your games. Lots of really fun games. Of course, it's Sesame Street, so of course it's fun. So this is all Elmo. And again, there's videos and then there's games. And then you can go by character if you want. If you want Rosita. Or different games.
Press the green. Hello, it is I, your furry train driver, Grover. Climb aboard the Rhyme Time Express and help me pick up train cars that rhyme. Here we go. Help me to drive to the rhyming rail yard. To go faster or slower, move this thingamabob.
log, 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 log.
You get the idea. And then Starfall. And again, they have both free and paid versions. But I love their kindergarten games. So alphabet.
A. A. Ah.
So then we have apple, we had ants. We also have sign language.
H.
So you can do sign language. Lots of fun games, ABC song, they have counting, they have different vowels. So lots of fun games on Starfall. Just some quick online storybook resources that you may not be aware of. Tar Heel Reader has been around for a long time, and there are free, easy to read books, but they're the cool part is they're accessible. So you can speech enable the books, you can do them in you can use them with touch screens or switches, depending on what you need. And they're all books people have put together themselves, or you can create your own book, which is really nice. So you can either find a book or write a book. I think in the interest of time, we will find a book. I will warn you, we need to make sure that we do the E for everybody, because there are some for older students. So, and then you can choose a category, or you can just choose all topics. And when you get into a book,
I like dogs.
There's a little settings here, and you can choose if you don't want it to read aloud, if you want to read it yourself, or how you want the voice to be, a child's voice, man, built in.
I like dogs.
You can change the page or the text color. So
I like dogs.
maybe if you wanted a more high contrast page.
I like dogs.
Okay, we like dogs. And then you can download the book as a physical book as well.
I like dogs. This dog is black and white. I like dogs. These dogs are sleepy. I like dogs. These dogs are waiting.
Just to give you the idea. Okay. So again, you can set up different types of alternative access to move these books forward, which is really, really nice. The next one is called Story Place Preschool Library, and there's not that many stories, but I like this because there are the stories, but there are also activities to go with each theme or each story. So you can choose the story that you want. And then they have a whole library of preschool activities as well. But there's the story here. But then down here, there's also activities. So there's the online story, which we're going to see. But then there's an activity and a video, and then little things that go along with it, like art projects. So
color the rainbow. Hi, I'm Frida Frog. Help me guess the colors in the rainbow. Here is my cap I wear upon my head. I can guess its color. It is red. Here is a pumpkin sitting in the sun.
For the sake of time, I'll just show you. Then they have different activities that have to do with each book.
What color is it? What color is the sun?
And then
Yellow.
choose.
Ribbit. Right. What color is the apple?
So kind of a fun website. And then finally is Unite for Literacy. And this is free online access to more than 400 original picture books, but they are all narrated in multiple languages. And you can even, so you can go in, you can go by category or just hit all books, but you can choose English for the written language or Spanish for the written language. But you can also, let's do Spanish.
Como jitomates rojos.
Just so you can see. But you can also go back to English. You can also choose a second narration language. And there are many, many, many. So I'm going to choose ASL. Whoops.
And lily pads.
Why did my ASL work? It worked the other day. I did something wrong. Oh, this one doesn't come in ASL, so only certain books. So narration languages, these are the ones that my choices are. Sorry. So there's a way to sort, but I did one the other day and the little ASL thing popped up as it was reading, which I thought was great. So lots of really great books in here too. Lots of multicultural and neat books. So next we're going to switch to iPads and apps for early learning. And I do want to let you know that next month we are having in English and Spanish our apps for early learning webinar, in which we'll get, of course, more in depth for apps for this age group. And I am going to stop sharing here and switch over to my iPad for a minute. Liz, we good on questions?
There's one question. Are there specific resources for ELL, dual language learners?
If you email us, we will try to help you depending on what you're looking for. Absolutely. We can get specifics for you, from you, and try to help you with what exactly you're looking for. Okay, you can all see my iPad, I hope. Of course. So getting into iPads and apps for early learning, I just wanted to make you aware, if you're not aware, of this great feature on the iPad called guided access. If you know about it, great, or if you use it, great. What it's for is basically we all have kiddos, or adults. I have some adults too. They love to hit that home button and get you out of whatever you're in. They just hit the home button and get you out of whatever you're in, right? So I'm going to show you under settings here. If you go in on the left side under accessibility, and you scroll down. Oh, they moved it around. Okay. You scroll down. In the bottom where it says general, there's guided access. Oh, I have mine turned on. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. You can set a passcode for guided access so that you're the only one that can get them out of the app you have them locked into, or you can set up Touch ID. So I'm going to do all three as in case I forget, you guys can remind me. So I have my guided access set up. So I'm going to start showing you apps in a minute, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Just a quick mention that there are so many different protective cases out there. It depends on what feature you're looking for, but typically with younger kiddos, you're going to want a more rugged case, one that can be dropped, one that's probably shatterproof or shatter resistant. And just my personal advice is one that they can't get the iPad out of themselves. And then there's all kinds of variety of styluses. I was trying to see if I had one here. And what's nice about a stylus, if you're working with, especially with young kiddos, if you're learning to draw letters or trace letters or numbers, you don't really want them to learn by drawing on a screen. You want them to learn by holding that pencil or crayon or marker if they can, however they hold it. So using a stylus, something with a rubber tip, here's some that I found for little kids that are helpful, that happen to be thicker, have a good grip on them. The one on the bottom is triangular, so it has that built-in triangular shape. You want to get them used to that grasp. So just a few apps I want to go ahead and show you, but again, we have so many. At Task, we have over 3,300 apps. So if you're looking for specific things, please feel free to email us and we'll try to help you out, or we will help you out as best we can. And then we do offer webinars that break down the apps. Like we have just all math apps or all reading or early learning. So please keep an eye out on our website calendar for that. So the first set of apps I wanted to show you is called My First Apps. And they're all apps that are designed for little kids. So ages 1.5 to 4.5 years old. And each app, when you take a look at it, it'll tell you the exact age range that it's designed for. But of course, everyone's different, and I go more by ability than age. So these are just some of the different titles: Build It Up, Puzzle Me, there's Match It Up, there's What's Different, there's Opposites, there's Sorting. They're for both iOS and Android, and they're 99 cents and up. So I have a couple that I pulled. This one is called Build It Up. And it says it's for age 2.5 plus. I don't know if you saw that. So this is the 99-cent version. So I'm going to turn off the sound just while I'm talking, or the music. So this is the 99-cent version. So it comes with 2 activities. If I decide I love it and I want to purchase the rest of the activities, it's going to pop up and say, do you want to buy the full version for $3.99? I'm going to show you this and then lock us in the next app. So this is the Build It app, and basically you just touch. It's teaching that touch and drag, and you have to go by size. So if I choose the wrong size, it's just going to pop right back over. So it's just building that eye-hand coordination, that moving and dragging. You could talk about colors as you moved the stuff over. Just very simple. And then as you go there, it does it again in different, a different order. Sorry, I just got stuck. And then there's one with blocks. Another one of their apps that I like is just called Basic Sounds. I don't know if you saw when it first popped up, there is a voice recording feature, which is kind of fun. In the interest of time, I'm not going to do that right now, but I do want you to know it's there, and I'll try to kind of show you how that works. So again, I'm on the 99-cent version. I have 2 activities. If I want to open it up and get the full version, then I click on the lock there and it'll pop up and tell me how much the full version is. Oh, I turned off the sound. That doesn't help, does it? Kind of the whole point. Uh-oh, why are we not moving? Hold on just a second. My iPad's being mean. Are we stuck? Must be Friday. Hold on just a minute. Sorry. Sorry, folks, we're connecting. Okay. So you can have the pig sound, or you have the option in the settings to hit the record button, and you can say, what sound does a pig make? Or make your own, you know, your own sound. All I'm doing is touching whatever animal.
There's no sound, Laura.
Really? Do you want me to make the animal sounds? I'm just kidding. That's really weird. I can hear it on coming through my computer. Let me try the next one and see if there's sound. Hang on. Technical difficulties. Let's see. If not, I'll log in a different way and we'll try it that way. The next set of apps is by RV Studios, and Liz actually found these some time back, and they're just great. They're all free. They have no ads and no in-app purchases, which is wonderful. So we don't accidentally press on ads. We don't accidentally, you know, buy things depending on how our iPad's set up. And they have all kinds of titles. So I just listed some: counting and math games, drawing and coloring. They have games for toddlers, sight words, counting and tracing. And then they have different titles available across different platforms. So iOS, Google Play, Amazon, and Microsoft, but not all apps are on all platforms, if that makes sense. Let's see if we have sound here.
And one thing I would like to add to those apps, some of those apps have other languages available.
They do. No sound. Oh my gosh, I have no idea why we have no sound. Any ideas, Liz? I have one idea.
The way you're sharing it.
Okay. You're welcome. I'm sorry for technical difficulties. I do not have another login, so I can't do it the other way. Trying to think how else I can show. Hang on. Try one more thing. You know, when you practice it or try it, it works perfect. And then when you're in front of people, it acts like this. Liz, do you have your iPad available or no?
Yes.
Or do you have the meeting ID? I was going to try to log in with my iPad instead of my computer, but I don't have a separate registration. You got it? In the meantime, let me share my iPad. Are you logging in? Okay, here she comes. Are you unmuted?
Give me a second.
Sure, thank you. Sorry about that. And I have sound here.
Hi, I'm
If it's easier, I can just talk about them if that works, Liz. Sorry, guys. Thanks for bearing with us. You just never know.
Can you make me co-host, please?
Other. Trying. Let me find the other you. Wrong one. There you are. The other you. There you go. There she goes.
Okay, so the RV Studios, they have a variety of apps. There's the Math Kids.
Hi, I'm Ruby. It's spelt R-U-B-Y. Ruby. Let's learn math.
And the Math Kids has 10 different activities you can choose from. On the top right corner, that's where you can go in to change the language. These are the options. Or you can go into the settings, bottom right corner. And here you can also turn off the background music. You can choose the level. There's 3 levels. Also, if you would like to allow county for county mode. If you want the sounds, you create profiles so you can also do report cards. And those are your other options. Once you have that set, there's also on here items you can shop from the company, from the vendor, other kids apps, parent apps, and they also have worksheets that you can print. I'll show you counting.
Learn to count.
They can simply just select the correct answer or
1,
tap 1 by 1
2,
and count along.
3, 4, 5. 5. Woohoo! 5 toys.
Whenever they enter and enter any of the activities, there's no ending to them. So as long as the student continues answering, they will continue. Once they're done answering, they have to press the little arrow on the bottom to go to the next question. But there's no ending to it. In order to exit, there is an X on the top right corner. You have to tap it and drag it over to the left side.
I believe in you.
I'll show you one more. Let's do subtracting fun.
Let's practice subtraction.
There's 2 minus 1.
1. Woohoo! 2 minus 1 equals 1.
And it disappears
0.
to the background.
1 minus 1 equals
This app
0.
has great visuals.
And I'll show you one more. Let's do the sidewards.
Hi, I'm Lucas. It's spelt L-U-C-A-S. Lucas.
Sidewards has 8 activities.
Here.
This one's only available in English. It doesn't have the options for the other languages. Let's do learn to spell. I will ask to choose beginner or intermediate. They do have, since it's a beginner,
Spell.
it gives a visual hint so they can see the spelling of the word.
A.
They drag the letters.
N. Good job. D. Woohoo! A. N. D. And.
And I'll go to the next one.
Let's learn to spell. Away.
Laura, any other apps you were going to show?
Yeah. So I had 3. I had more slides, but I have, hang on. Sorry, folks. Thanks for being adaptable. I had 3 AAC apps.
Which one?
Go Talk Now. My First AAC and Touch Chat.
Okay, with Go Talk Now, when you download Go Talk Now, it's blinked. You create all of the pages yourself. Let me go back home. We'll do page editor. When you do page editor, the bottom bar looks a bit different. This is where you choose how many buttons you want per page. If you want the scan and auditory cues enabled, you can change the background color. You can see all the pages that you have already on that specific profile. You can do edit to delete any or to add a new one. To add a new one, you can use your online gallery. I need to upload it. I'll upload it later. Or if you already have templates, or if you want to duplicate one of your pages that you already have. You can also do a keyboard page. And the keyboard page does have word protection. Once you're done, you press the home to go back home, and you're back in the regular non-editing mode.
I want an apple.
You select what it is that you want it to say and what it is that you wanted the text on there. So I can have
orange,
just orange, the text, but I can also set it to say, I want an orange, please. So you customize each page to this individual needs. You can just have text, no images.
How are you? Yes, I went to work, but I flew to Sacramento and attended a voice options meeting. I will go back home tomorrow night.
I select what I want, then I tap on the bar for it to say it out loud.
I want jungle animals.
You can use your own recording. You can also go into the library of the Go Talk Now app. There's a lot of templates already made by other parents, by other professionals. One more thing I'll show you on this one. You can create, is the student is hungry, that you can have, this is a sample I have, the refrigerator. So if the student is hungry, they'll tap on the refrigerator, the bottom part, and I have it for it to go to a new page of what their options are for when they're hungry. So if he or she wants a sandwich.
I want a sandwich.
And it states green, meaning that they can tap it again and it will give them options of what type of sandwich they want.
Grilled cheese, please.
The freezer part.
I want ice cream.
So this one's very customized. So you can customize to the needs of the students, but you will have to create or go through the already pre-made templates to choose what it is that you want for each page. Anything else?
Really quick, Liz, I believe this is the one where you can share the pages with other people.
Oh, yes. So if you know someone else using the Go Talk Now and you want to exchange templates or pages, you can simply share them via Bluetooth. You have to be near the other person.
Yeah.
Is that it for apps, Laura?
Oh, My First AAC.
Not sure if I. These are all the areas subjects that it has. It has expression, social, greenies, activities. As you can see, you can go directly to the one if the student wants to ask questions, they'll go to the questions. Seems like there's something wrong with the audio on this specific app.
I swear it's Zoom.
If you go into the settings, you could customize the user. The icon layout, you have option of 2 or 8. The one I just showed you is the 8. You can personalize it with the name of the student, their birthday, phone number, and house information. You can also go, if right now, since I have it in the 8, I can edit each section. Maybe I want to switch one of the icons. So for expression, these are all the icons, and it'll show me where they're at. So I can simply switch icons. Go back. And you can lock them in a specific section, so they won't be able to switch and unlock. Yeah, the audio is not working on this app.
So maybe it's Zoom.
No, this one's the app.
And then just touch chat if you want. Oh gosh.
Touch chat by Sotelo. This one. Choose new vocabulary. It comes with a list. It comes with a lot of vocabulary. The very basic is the 4 basic. There's spelling, vocabulary, and there's these other options. So depending on the needs of the students, of where they're at with their communication, that's the one you would choose. There's quick chats as well for adults and children, and word power. And word power goes from 20 position up to 140 positions. And positions meaning the number of icons on the screen. And I will show you the 4 basic. This is a very basic for touch chat. If there's the little arrows on the top corner, it means that it will go to and more options, but then it will come right back. That's the I want, categories, and social. The all about me looks a little bit different, the arrow. It would just go there and it will stay there and give more options from there. So if the student wants something, I'll do I want. What do I want? I want to drink water. And as I was typing it, you can see it's on the top. Huh. Audio is not there either. Oh, it is. And as it reads it out loud, it does highlight each word. This one's also very customizable. You can edit all the squares. You can add your own icons, change the colors. And that's the spelling one for someone who prefers the typing and versus the images. And it does have word protection. And you can have phrases already pre-made. If you do texting, you can send a new text message, actual text message to someone. And it froze there.
So I'm going to go ahead and reshare my screen, I guess. And then thank you, Liz, for bailing me out. Sometimes Zoom is just a pill. I'm going to fast forward. There we go. So thank you for bearing with our technical difficulties. As always, if you have questions, please feel free to email us. Here is our contact information. And then I'm going to ask Liz to put the link to the SurveyMonkey in the chat. If you wouldn't mind putting your email address in when you fill out the SurveyMonkey, we'll go ahead and enter you in our monthly drawing for a $25 Amazon gift card. And if you have specific questions regarding your child or your student, please feel free to email us and ask us, and we will try to help you as best we can. And again, I thank you for bearing with our technical difficulties this morning.